it's important for us to encourage proper behavior and discourage wrong behavior with anything we do. And we've wanted to recognize folks who have gone out of their way to make Rosamond better on several levels. I'm going to turn this over to Director Landsgaard because he did the write-up, and it's wonderful. And so let's do the one.
All right, thank you, Dennis. I'll go ahead and read to you who's receiving the awards, and there's a little handout we made about why. There's a lot more to it than what's written there, but we'll have to deal with the shortened version here. And they can maybe tell a little bit more about it. For example, Mr. Roney's got a lot more to say than the 3 lines I've got written. Well, we had, we have 3 presenters here tonight. We have the Kern County, which is the 2nd District Supervisor. Is that right, Brian?
Yeah, I work for the second.
Okay, you're presenting them, is that right?
I don't present the work.
Okay, Dennis with them.
Yeah, it's RMAC.
We also have present from Assemblyman Tom Lackey's office, George Andrews, and he'll be presenting as well. And United States Congress, Kevin McCarthy's office also dropped off commendations as well, so we just have a representative from there. Okay, persons of the year, if we can call up Gail and Paul Warnick. Mark Twain once said, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. For about the last 30 years, the same could be true for Sierra Highway. If you ever noticed that nobody ever said that would be a great place to clean up, but nobody ever did it until Paul and Gail came along and said, we'll start a community watch program, and we're going to clean up this town. They didn't say that, but I said it for them.
I don't leave the plastic on because I've got greasy fingers. No. They want to mess it up, they can.
Okay. They cleaned it up a great job between all the way from Rosa Boulevard down to about just past Orange Street, and then the next time they went and finished all the way halfway. They did the Alversons area, and then they're back next Saturday.
Last Saturday.
Last Saturday.
On Sierra Highway.
On Sierra Highway. And it's an awesome job getting people to work together. They had crews of 60, and they dropped off to 45. And they still got huge crews out there, and they're doing a wonderful job in our community. And I really appreciate, and we all appreciate what you've been doing here. And as an example of both of the neighborhood watch program, community watch program, the RCWP, as well as what you've been doing with cleaning up this town. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Congratulations. Congressman Thomas's office, we have a combination. It says special certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Rosamond Municipal Advisory Council awards. Paul and Gail Warnick honorees, persons of the years. Award in recognition of outstanding and invaluable service to the community.
Assemblyman Tom Lackey, here's a certificate of recognition. He has floor session tomorrow, so unfortunately he wasn't able to make it.
You guys want to say anything? Or tell me about
Speech!
Okay, Gail's got something to say.
Of course.
Yes. Why idea?
Like Olaf said, we had an idea. We took it up, but we couldn't do it without our group of volunteers. We have a Facebook page. We have almost 400 members, but we have a core group of about 40 members who come out and support us with the cleanups. They're out beating the pavement, finding donations for us. We couldn't do any of this without you guys, so thank you.
Our honoree for Lifetime Achievement Award, if you don't know it, I think since about 1992, there's been a county employee that drives every day from Rosamond to Bakersfield.
96.
Since 1996.
There you go.
And of course, the advantage of driving that long distance is you're going from the outside in, you see everything that's going on. And she started working out for the building and planning department. And next thing you know, she's the head of the Prairie County Building and Planning. About the time the windmills and the wind farms are coming online, because that's what the state said we had to do. And please welcome Lorelei Oviatt. Thank If you look around town here, you really can't miss anything that Lorelei hasn't had a part to do with in the last 20 years. Lorelei's was the main impetus behind actually the Diamond Street project and actually coming up with the idea of how to improve the downtown area. They just took off from there. Lorelei also came up, she's already won the Lightning Award, and I know they went through that all before, but maybe you don't know how the school district went from a $1 billion assessment to $1.6 billion assessment overnight. It's because the windmills that came on west of town in the school district area allowed the schools to pass another bond and build some more schools. You know, if you want to know whose shoulders all came off, is it someone who knows what government's for. She knows the government's there to facilitate. She said, if they're going to want green, I'm going to help facilitate green. And it's going to happen here in Kern County. That's why you see it all happening. We're really thankful that you've done all that.
Thank you.
And did you want to say a few words, or I got?
I do.
Okay.
First, I want to thank what you're doing. What I'm doing is nothing compared to what you're doing inside the community. And since I had this opportunity, I've lived in Rosamond for 36 years, along with my family. Our 3 kids went through Southern Kern school system from Wanda Kirk's elementary school. The oldest, Katerina, is a controller for a national oil field company based in Denver, North Dakota. Our middle son, Steven, just got his master's in philosophy and modern history from Cambridge in England, King's College, and he's doing his PhD. And our youngest is in school in Bakersfield. And whenever they say they're from California, people go, how is that ocean? Constantly having to explain that they have Edwards Air Force Base, but they don't have an ocean. And the reason we loved it here, my husband commuted to Burbank. He's an aerospace engineer, so we had to split the difference. So we were long-distance commuters. He went to Burbank. I worked in Lancaster for a while for a developer, and then I went to... So like many of the people here, we split the difference. And why did we stay? Because in 1980, and when our kids were born, they could still walk to school. And they could still ride a bus, because Dixie Noel knew the bus driver, and she stopped in front of her house. So, you know, this is a still small, it's a bigger town now, but it still has a small town feel. And when people say, Rosamond, where is that? I say, you know what? We're the place where the rocket scientists and the people from Edwards Air Force Base live, and the hardworking people who just want a nice place to raise their families live. So I've been proud to represent, Bakersfield is very Bakersfield-centric. And when I came to work for the planning department, I jumped the counter, took a pay cut from the private sector in order to work for the county, and I've been proud to work for them the last 20 years. I didn't know Bakersfield, and I would spend my, lunch hours driving around, and when I moved up the food chain, I said, you need to go out and look. You need to know where Willow Springs is. You need to know what the word Diamond Street means. You need to know where Mojave and Boron are, as well as Crest. You can't just work for county government and know Bakersfield, because we are one county. This is a great honor. I remember when the RMAC started, and I really am nothing without the community members, without the elected officials at the other, the school board and other places, and also mostly my team. I have an extraordinary team of planners who have done all this. And we had a goal of 10,000 megawatts of renewable energy permitted by 2015. We have now, we're 150 away from 10,000 megawatts. That's 10 times more than anybody in California. And we did it for the jobs. We did it for the tax revenue. We've obviously done a good thing, but that's why we did it. So I just look forward to the future. We have a bright future with Diamond Street, with everything that's happening. We're trying to save the oil and gas industry so that all of Kern County can continue to have a bright future along with agriculture. And I appreciate more than I can tell you these people and you, because you give your time and energy at, frankly, what's an immensely thankless job, right? To be on this board, to spend your time, but I thank you. So,
well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
You want to read
Thank
that?
you very much.
Absolutely. I wish to extend my most sincere and heartfelt congratulations for your hours of dedication, hard work, and valuable contributions to our community. Your commitment is worthy of commendation. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Attributes are given to me in a short, I wrote them down short. You got 2 Golden Bell Awards, first ever for Rosamond High School. Golden ribbons, Golden ribbon as well, is that right?
It's California Distinguished School.
He's a California, what used to be known as the California Distinguished School is now called the Golden Ribbon School?
No, actually, Rosamond High School is now a California Distinguished School.
It is now a California Distinguished School.
Wow.
Gail is also a recruiter for Rosamond. He figured out that you can kids go to school there for 4 years, they can end up with an AA degree. So at the end of 4 years, they have a 6-year degree. Well, he has kids that communicate with him, and his your oldest son. So he said, Dad, I think I want to go there. I want to have that opportunity. So we took the best power forward that Patsy High School had, and he came down here and played a little football. Got his basketball teammates to come out and play some football. He helped the football team. The basketball team was pretty good this year as well. And we get to see you back in the court again next year.
Yes. Yes.
In the meantime, he continues to get the word out that Rosamond is the one place you can go for to make the most time work for you as far as your education goes. You can get that 6 years in 4. Is that right? Could you? I don't want to steal your thunder. I want to take one. You want to go ahead and tell us?
Well, first of all, that's a heck of a resume, isn't it?
Yeah, Rosamond High School is now a California Distinguished School. It's the first time in the history of Rosamond and its creation of high school. In essence, if you count our golden ribbon and the second golden ribbon, which is the new California Distinguished School, on top of that, the Golden Bell Awards, we're actually the top 4 schools in the state of California.
One of the top 4 high schools in California.
Only 4 high schools in the state of California receive all 3 accolades. Grateful for this award because I learned a long time ago that you're only as good as the people that you actually work with and not for.
And you have some people here that you work with. You want to introduce them?
Actually, they're amazing people. Actually, start off with actually people you might know who actually kind of set you apart there. Over Mr. Weinstein, my superintendent. Peter Van Busker. Mike Lewis, our assistant principal at Rosamond High School. He's our other assistant principal at Rosamond High School. The one that keeps us all straight in line, Patty Galindo. Yes. Okay, appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, and even Congressman McCarthy. He's kind of like Rosamond High School. He's kind of working his way up to like the second. He's not the Speaker of the House, but he's the Majority Whip. Not the Majority, he's the Majority Leader. So formerly Whip, yeah. And he's giving you a certificate of special congressional recognition as well, with the whole seal of member of Congress on it. We appreciate you, and then of course, not to be outdone, of course, George Andrews from Tom Mackey's office has a few words.
On behalf of Assemblyman Tom Lackey, your encouragement to, your commitment to lead, encourage, and help our children is worthy of recognition. I wish you success as you continue to serve the students of Rosamond High School. Congratulations.
Month or 2. Progress is going well. There haven't been too many hiccups. They expect 2 or 3 weeks and most of the road work will be done. One thing going on right now is with Southern California Edison. We're having a little bit of a delay getting the lights in. So we're kind of waiting right now, organized with the Chamber of Commerce on when we're going to do the ribbon cutting. We don't know yet if we're going to be doing it after the lights go in or just when the construction of the road's done. But I'm sure that'll be made public when that's decided. And as far as the Renubis grants go, some money has been sent out, but there was a little mix-up with addresses that the final documents were sent to, because some people don't have a mailing ability to receive mail at the business address that the application was sent on. So the things were sent to the wrong address for some people. So within the next month, everyone should have their money, and we're we'll see the businesses continue to improve and look better and work in tandem with the Diamond Street project. So I think that's a good thing.
Ryan, when is the project supposed to be finished?
2 to 4 weeks.
Okay, because I've shot
Except for
aerial,
the lights.
I've shot aerial footage from the beginning of this, John. So we have steps through the whole process that maybe we can have published from the beginning of what Diamond Street looked like before, and then of course the finished product.
That's wonderful here.
Sergeant Anton from the Sheriff's Department. Okay. For this month of April of 2015, we had 897 calls for service, 52 arrests, 20 of those were for assaults, 9 were for drugs, 12 were for thefts, 6 were for stolen vehicles, and 9 vandalism.
6 arrests for stolen vehicles?
No, there were 6 stolen vehicles.
What'd you get for them? Well, do we have any questions for the sheriff? Thank you for coming, and please pass along our thanks to the folks in the force. We appreciate the work they do for us.
Good evening, Sergeant Williams from the Mojave CHP office. Just a friendly reminder for some that may not know, but we service several communities throughout here. We service Rosamond, Mojave, parts of around Tehachapi, Cummings Valley, that area. We service Boron, and we even cover Ridgecrest. So for our office, we're kind of spread out, kind of busy. For my dispatch center, we actually took in 2,100 calls last month. 405 911 calls to our dispatch came from Rosamond. Out of those calls that we fielded, we responded to 12 traffic collisions in Rosamond, 2 disabled vehicles, amazingly enough, no hit and runs. 19 reckless driving calls that we responded to and handled one way or another. We had 4 DUI arrests and 12 vehicles impounded. So, but the good news is the severity of crashes we took were not that bad. This community, we had no fatalities. Unfortunately, the other communities not so great. We had Ridgecrest had a fatality yesterday. We had a hazardous material spill in Cal City yesterday, and we had a fatality in Cummings Valley the day before. So the other communities are kind of busy. So Rosamond, you guys are doing good. Keep up the good work. Driving careful. We've expanded our senior volunteer program. We now have 16 volunteers working for us. We've dedicated 8 of them for working traffic complaints. And basically what they do is we remove all the guns out of our cars, and we put volunteer signs on the side of the cars, and they go and they monitor traffic for us. Believe it or not, just the mere fact of the black and white car there, it slows down the traffic, making things a lot easier. We've gone to several of the schools. We hit Tropical, we hit Westpark, and we hit the high school at least twice in the last 2 weeks. So, we're trying to stay busy that way. And finally, we finally have our Facebook account up and running. So if you go on to Facebook and you query CHP Mojave, you'll see us. Currently we have 82 likes, and that's good. We're going to start sharing. We're sharing information as things come up, as we have car seat events or Start Smart programs or other programs. We're going to start sharing those on our website. You guys are welcome to comment on there. Please read some of the rules that we have, some restrictions. No bad words. So far, we've had a lot of comments come on. So far, 2 of them have passed our restrictions to be posted, and it's mostly because colorful.
Yeah.
Other than that, feel free to post on there. Feel free if you have traffic complaints, if you have concerns, post it on there. If you have somebody who's driving up and down the street a little too fast, give us their information. We'll send them out letters. If the letters don't work, we'll actually go door knock their house. So we're on it. Any questions?
No, this award is great, and thank you guys. Thank you for that. I just want to say a couple of things. I want to thank the people that are right here, right now. Our committee, Heather Checkley, Jack Miller, Lisa Checkley, Big Mama, Elena, Albert Gatton. They are the ones that make this happen also.
Thank you, guys.
Law enforcement. They're there to help us out. They help us out with their volunteers. They supported us from day
you have anything coming up in the next month? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's
It's her turn now,
probably
actually.
my turn. We actually did our May cleanup last weekend. We did hit Sierra Highway again, starting at the Guidos area, and we made it almost all the way to the recycling plant. We had a smaller number of volunteers this time around, about 23, 25. We did pick up 520 pounds of trash, which is a lot considering most of it is paper trash. There were a few pieces of plywood that did get hauled away, so that added a little bit to the weight. Our next cleanup is going to be on June 20th. The location has not yet been determined, but we will post that on Facebook as soon as we have it. And I want to let everyone know, we're looking to have a volunteer appreciation for all of our volunteers and everyone who's came out and helped. We're shooting for August 15th, still tentative, but we're going to have live music, try to get sponsorship, even if it's $20 to put forward if we would like to have it catered, but if we don't get that much money, then we'll put the guys to work cooking hot dogs and hamburgers and get a bounce house for the kids. We just want to make it a community event. Our volunteers will get in free, but everyone else will be a minimal charge because we want to do it also as a fundraiser for Community Watch to keep the ball rolling. Thank you.
thank you.
I guess our construction projects are going very well. Westpark Field will be completed by the second week in June. It will be under lock and key though for at least 60 days for the sod to take root. We will be moving our district offices to the corner of Eagle Way and Rosamond Boulevard starting right after July 4th weekend. And once that is completed on August 1st, we will turn over the district site as well as everything at the Rosamond Elementary School from the basketball courts to Glendower will be turned over for construction, and they will start knocking down the district offices and starting construction August 1st. Our expected 1,000 student capacity school will be open January 2017. And that will be for our elementary school. Current Rosamond Elementary School, all of the portable buildings will be taken down. The permanent buildings will remain. There will be a capacity for about 300 students there. So we're going to move from being over capacity at 850. The school was originally built for 250 students and expanded for 300. We are now at 866 students at that school. Everything above 300 is in portable buildings, but infrastructure of cafeteria, offices, library, all those things were made for a much smaller school, so we're very happy to be able to expand that. That school will remain for 300 and it will be updated. We'll be placing about $2 million in the renovation of the old Rosamond School to update it so that there'll be room for 300 students at that school. We are also at capacity at Westpark. We are surpassing 860 students at Westpark, and we will be finishing up adding 2 portable buildings at Westpark so that our capacity can be at 950, and that is expected to happen next year. So we have this bubble of growth going through the district, and it started at the elementary school level, obviously, and we're seeing that we expect about 100 student increase to the district next year, and then exponentially growing each year after that because of the new houses, apartment complex, and things like that going on. Oh, and I'm sorry, our graduations are next week, and I can't forget that. So on Tuesday, day after Memorial Day, we will be having our elementary schools. Alt Ed, the first graduation of the 2 Alt Ed high schools is happening on Wednesday, and it's I'm saying the inaugural graduation, even though they've been around for over 25 years. They are now WASC accredited, alternative education high schools, which are one of the few in California that are WASC accredited, and they will be the graduating class for the first ones that are WASC accredited, which is a big deal. On Thursday, the high school will be graduating. Again, the first class of the distinguished high school graduating, and then on Friday, the middle school will be graduating. And the high school and middle school graduations will take place at Graves Field at the high school. The elementary schools will take place at Tropico Middle School, as well as the alternative education will take place at Tropico Middle School. We'll be out for the summer starting the following week. That's it.
Randy?
Well, not really a lot new. We are still in the midst of a drought. Hopefully, virtually everyone is aware of that. And I guess probably the way to put it is the various water agencies throughout the Antelope Valley are working with their customers as far as how they're going to implement all the various water saving measures and so on. And there's a whole variety of those going on. Some of them not without controversy, but everyone is encouraged to save water.
Carl Schaefer, and he's taken the helm and he's promptly left again. We learned last night at Edwards Air Force Base Civilian Military Support Group function, and he's away for a few weeks, getting requalified in the F-16. Apparently, you can't just show up and they hand you the keys. You got to get checked out even. So he's off doing that. We should have, hopefully by the next meeting, the latest summary of all the pertinent facts about Edwards in terms of numbers of people and payroll and all those kinds of things. The annual summary, so hopefully I'll be able to do that and hand it out to those who are interested. The numbers of folks have declined a little. Everybody wants to know, or they come up and ask me frequently, it's probably a better way to say it, are we going to have an air show next year? And the answer is no. There is no extra pot of money for air shows. We have to take that out of pie. We felt it was in poor taste to have an air show when they were looking at doing so many cutbacks. So, however, there is another air show happening in the Antelope Valley these days, the Los Angeles County Air Show at Fox Field. I learned a couple of days ago that the next one will be March 19th and 20th, so mark your calendars now. And last we heard, one of the two precision groups will be back again. Those folks were smart enough to hire as their air show director, the guy who does a lot of air shows, including one at Oshkosh. So he's very well connected, and the last couple of years has had a precision group here, and they hope to do that again next year. So we still have around 10,000 folks who work on the base. Of that number, we need about 2,000 in the military. The rest are either government civil service, like I am, or contractor employees, people working for private companies doing business there. And it's about a 50-50 mix between contractors and government civil service. We just in the last few weeks, and it was covered very well in the Valley Press, the 445th Flight Squadron, which was known as Test Ops, furled its flag, and the work that they did at Test Ops has been farmed out to, I think, 4 other units. That function tends to come and go depending on the numbers of missions. The commander of the test center located at Edwards, Major General Bunch, is selected for another star and will be moving on here soon, so congratulations to him. And he was absolutely the right guy to get that job when they got it. He was able to bring that organization around. So, yeah, we're still percolating. Do we have any other groups who would like to say it?
I want to go back up to but I am also a member of the Community Service District, so I can tell you a little bit's going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mostly, but prospectively, this Tuesday from 12:30 to 3:30 is a workshop on the budget. And there's 3 of us that are brand new board members who really want to look at that. The budget is a policy document. It's really where the rubber meets the road. You know, Mark Twain, again, I like to quote him. He said there's lies, damn lies, and statistics. I think if we're going to look at the policy, the budget, we want to make sure that we're getting as close to the truth as we can with the numbers that come in. We've been getting quarterly reports. I think our board understands a lot of what goes on there. But where the rubber meets the road is how we're going to go forward into the future. And the budget document is something that we need to look at, because that's what will be governing our district starting July 1st and what kind of decisions we make down the road. Along those same lines, I was hoping President McKay stayed here, because I understand he, Dennis Shingledicker, and Al Wallace all went to Sacramento this week to talked to our legislatures, including Tom Lackey and Gene Fuller, as well as, I know Al dropped the letter off to the governor. Al's letter was very specific. I got a copy of it here. He said, I want one thing. I want to get the permit so we can use our water at no, we have a tertiary water treatment plant. And the water right now just goes out to a pond and evaporates. We also have a pipe that runs past the park here on Glendower that within 600 feet of it. And that pipe, as you may not, that park, as you may know, is not getting water. If we just have the permit to turn it back on, I believe we can start using water on there as long as we start posting signs that it's not potable water, it's not water you should be drinking, it's water from the tertiary plant. And that way the people know. But and we also need to run that pipe out, and hopefully we'll get together and get a contract together with the school so we can get them as a customer at their new park in westpark. And once we do that, in the meantime, we're going to have to set that up for bid because it's project is at least I think it's a $1.2 million project to bring the pipe out there. I think we got the financing figured out, but I think we have to get a bid. It's not something we can do in-house. Or maybe we can. But either way, I'd like to get out there as soon as possible because we have the water and it doesn't make any sense just to have it evaporating. And all we need is a permit from Lahan. And for whatever reason, it's been languishing. So with all this talk about water, hopefully it'll move to the front burner and we'll get it done. There's a lot of other things going on, of course. Our week after Tuesday's meeting for 12:30, we have a regular Wednesday meeting. That's this Wednesday at 7, regular meeting 6 o'clock for the, what do you call that? Closed session stuff. Closed session at 6, open session at 7, and meetings generally last about till 9:30. And need to speak up, come down there and speak up. There are, again, a lot of things to cover with what's going on with the community service district, and one of the things that we did agree to do is we're going to hire somebody to do a rate study for us for sewer and water, and hopefully that will be good news for us. We need to figure out ways to continue to have water here. We're not in bad shape as far as water goes. We've got a full year's worth of water in the water bank, and water levels have been rising. Well number 9, which is out 55th and Holidays, actually gone up 2 feet here since January. And obviously, some of the reasons for that could be the fact we have a water bank that's making that far over, but I think probably also is the farming that occurs with the avek water right there at Seatooth and Gaskell, and the farming that's not happening in our community. We're not pulling any water out for farming. We're not using that well water, so the table should be coming up. So with that in mind, hopefully we can all see you there. If you have any questions or concern on how planning should go, come on Tuesday from 12:30 to 3:30, and of course certainly, I just saw the agenda today. It's very basic. It just says we're having a workshop, and then of course the other more detailed agenda will be coming out later for the Wednesday meeting. Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to get the meeting time. You said Tuesday 12:30 to 3:30?
Yes, at the RCSD building.
That's the workshop?
That's the workshop.
And when's the regular meeting?
Regular meetings at closed session at 6, regular meetings at 7.
7 that night.
I have a quick question.
Wednesday, yes. We have a workshop on Tuesday, meeting on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Out of the water bank, can you determine where the water level is? Are we gaining? Are we losing? Is it holding? Is there a way to know?
Yes. My understanding is, and I really haven't, that's a good question. Maybe I should ask the manager how they know that exactly. But I think we have a lot of test wells, and we have them like 5 miles out even from where, another 5 miles, get 3 miles out, 1 at 100th of Holly, is that right? And I guess when you put the water in, it creates a bubble at the top. And then it slowly, yeah, it goes away from this little mound and works its way out.
Trickle down.
Trickle down, definitely. But you still have the mound of water at the top, and of course it does bring the level up within 3 miles if it happens. We've been able to discern that. I don't think we've gone any further than 100th Street West, though, to figure out if it's gone any further than that. But I do know that avek tried to make the 65th Street West and Gaskell area their water bank, initial water bank, and it turned out it couldn't do that because their little hump was set over another little hump, big old rock. So all the water went away from the bank, and that's not what they intended to do. So
They're pumping real hard. Okay, they're taking a bunch out. I'm just wondering, will they get our bank water? They're only a couple miles away.
No,
Go that way.
yeah, they've kept track of what they've put in over the time, and they have also got the same kind of requirement, they won't take more than 90% back out. And they are looking, by the way, to expand that water bank by some more
All right.
property.
Do we have any community announcements? Going to Five Rivers?
August, but Jeff Hawk Stadium is hosting a Rosamond Appreciation Night. They just got in touch with me last week, so.
We got a call on it yesterday as well. Nothing firm yet.
Okay, they actually sent me a date.
I heard something on Facebook, but they're not, when they called us, they said it wasn't confirmed, so.
Okay, all right.
First time formally, one of our field reps has been here since Tom's taken office. He was sworn in as the assembly for this region in December of 2014. So he's a freshman member. People ask what our purpose is in terms of field representatives and staff. We basically, we're here to serve you. So if there are problems with specific state agencies like EDD or FTD or all these random acronyms that probably weird letters to you, but if there is a problem with a particular state agency that you have, please contact us. We're happy to help out. I'm happy to call a bureaucrat and tell them what's up on your behalf because we work for you. So please use this as a resource. I'll be here after the meeting.
All right. Dick Allen, who is the CEO for the Palmdale Regional Medical Center. They've been very actively looking to expand health services beyond just their hospital. They're also building out another floor, by the way. He mentioned that the other day. But we've invited him to be our speaker next month. Now, one of the things that they're considering is an urgent care facility here, but also the ability to have other clinics during the week. So I would encourage you to come on the third Thursday next month. And I would love to have, this has been kind of something I really wanted to, we've talked about this for a while, about having
Take care, Mike.
more local medical treatment available for humans this time. A lot of
Urgent care is we're shooting for
urgent care, what's the other clinic? Like, for example, one day, maybe a coronary clinic or whatever. So, but he'll bring that, so please come next time. You have anything beyond that?
Yeah, kind of go back up to the planning committee, like what to point you toward the fact that there has been the Antelope Valley groundwater adjudication. There's a stipulation out there that's been signed by all the major cities, LA County Districts 40, all those others. But it leaves out a large class of people, and that is the people who own raw land, also known as I believe it's the Willits class. And if you're interested in looking into that, maybe you should look into that because they're the only ones, major ones that are objecting to the adjudication being finalized, number one. There's a motion to do that. And the reason for that is kind of read briefly today is they were left out of the conversation when it came to coming up with a stipulated agreement and pretty much leaves them out without any water rights, at least as compared to everybody else. So you might want to look at if you have an interest in raw land or have land that doesn't have a well on it now that's affected by you're basically part of the Willis class. If you're not part of the Willis class, your property will be affected by the adjustment. You want to look into that. Maybe the planning committee will want to do that.
Facebook page for the Rosamond Municipal Advisory Council. I have a little item on there dealing with the conditions of roads and stuff like that, crosswalks, all of those things. If you see a problem area in the community, send a little note to the Facebook page for RMAC so we can make sure that the roads department has that on their list of items to take care of. I'll give you a good example of one. The areas over here on Rosamond Boulevard where we cross the 14 freeway, we have places, for people to cross those ramps where people are going onto the freeway or coming off of the freeway. But those transitions from the sidewalk and the handicap portions of it, as well as the matchup with the asphalt, is all out of whack. A person that's in a motorized chair cannot navigate some of those areas, And some of them have actually said they've even come close to falling out of their chairs and stuff. So those are the kind of things we need to identify and make sure that the roads department is aware of.
So if they're looking for that page.
So I told them I'd give them some answers. So I just got some information here. The way it works is you can call as early as 1 day in advance, or as early as 2 weeks in advance, and as close to 1 day in advance. So 24 hours is the latest, the least amount of time they need to be able to respond. They pick you up at your house and take you wherever you need to go. They honor a half-hour pickup window, which is consistent with most dial rides in the state, where they vow to show up either 15 minutes before to 15 minutes after your request time. And that's pretty much it. The director of that, Bob Neath, he directs Kern County's Kern Regional Transit and the dial ride, has said they've never had a reported missed ride, never, and never had one. So if someone does have a missed one, they need to contact him so they can get that fixed. If you guys want his phone number, he gave it to me, his personal direct line right here, 862-8859. And it sounds like a pretty cool service, so if there is a problem with it, he wants to know. So make sure you reach out to him. He's a good guy and takes his job very seriously.
Is there a point of contact for that, Ryan?
It's Bob Neath.
Yeah, what's his name?
Bob Neath, N-E-A-T-H.
Now, can't you even set up like 6 weeks in a row and you picked up every
Yeah, they
Tuesday?
now have it set up online where you can set it up for, I believe, a month in advance. If you need it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 1 week, whatever, you can set it up completely in advance and have it all ready. They'll show up at your house, pick you up, take you, and call you back.
I'm concerned, and I'm probably speaking from ignorance, but I am concerned that avek is pumping so much water. They're pumping 18 million gallons a day out on 140th. It's a bunch of water. They're going to what they're doing is they're bringing back online large wells, 20-inch casings or whatever they are, wells from 50, 60 years ago, and they're pumping this much water. They're going to put more wells online, and my concern is if we're putting water in our bank and we think we got water or money in the bank and we can't keep track of it, the day will come that we will be really surprised and it will be too late. And so, I really want to see Randy be able to watch that for us and know where we're at there, because I think this is bigger than we realize.
Okay.
Gary?
As always, appreciate people taking the time to actually come to these meetings and participate in community events.
Master Chief.
I'd just like to apologize for missing last month's meeting, but I was really under the weather for about 6 weeks there, and now I'm back to where I feel like about 90%, so hopefully I won't miss any more meetings.
Thank you everybody for coming. See you all back next month.
Under Group Director's comments, I'm on a committee that meets once a year. It's a part of the East Kern Air Pollution Control District. It's a grant committee. Grants are given out, if we haven't mentioned this in previous meetings, they have around $325,000 available each year to give out for projects like replacing older, more polluting vehicles, like old Crown Victorias or those kinds of things, with newer, more clean vehicles, or paving dirt roads that are heavily traveled to reduce PM10 being there that will migrate through. All those kinds of things have a negative impact on the mission at Edwards and at China Lake. And the whole point of that grant process through the East Kern Air Pollution Control District is to have projects like that funded. We met and we voted, and I made my report last week in Ridgecrest to the Air Pollution Control District. I was elected chairman of that. We gave away all but $5,000. The money was roughly 50-50 between a number of projects. Money was a little lopsided. In terms of numbers of projects, about half the projects were vehicles, taking older, more polluting vehicles off, putting better vehicles on. The other half, and that's a matching thing, they have to come up with 30% of the money. For road construction projects, we can go up to $50,000, but there's about a 10% match, I think, on that one. And it's about 50-50. So if you know, if anybody around has a heavily traveled dirt road that's causing a lot of dust going in the air, and you think, boy, wouldn't that be...
Could you put that on as agenda items, dirt roads?
For dirt roads?
So, well, I heard that Mojave has been applying something, substance that they're testing.
I don't know.
Keep the dust down.
Well, a number of these rural areas, like around Tehachapi and over in by Lincoln's
Mojave Airport.
and in the what Mojave Airport has primarily done is got almost a whole new fleet of vehicles, one or two at a time, and they've been very good at getting that a grant. Also up in Walker Basin, they've the really heavily traveled roads have been identified. So if you know any around here, they were kicking up a lot of dust, and it has a lot of use in there. Folks there that can come up with the extra 10%, because that's a pretty big deal, then please talk to me about the application process.